Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold! Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Welcome to the Retreat Leaders Podcast, your sanctuary with retreat experts, where we spill the tea on retreat success. Here we dive into crafting transformational guest experiences, talk about how to avoid pitfalls, and unlock marketing secrets. Whether you're a seasoned guru or a budding enthusiast, we've got the inside scoop for you. Join us as we learn how to flourish in this magical world of retreats. Hey, welcome to the Retreat Leaders Podcast. This is Shannon, and today I'm solo, and I'm going to talk about something that we struggle with as retreat leaders, even if we're not conscious about it. I think actually a lot of times we just ignore it, if I'm being honest. I really do. And so what we're going to talk about today is dealing with objections. Because let's be honest, hearing something like, it's too expensive after you've poured your heart, soul, time, and energy into planning a life-changing retreat, it stings a little, right? Or maybe even a lot. Maybe you even feel like the breath leave your body. Maybe panic arises. You start to think things like, do I lower my price? Did I market it wrong? Should I offer a discount? Oh, first of all, let me just pause here for a moment. If you know me at all, you know I am not a proponent of discounting. At all. That's just, to me, discounting your pricing discounts the entire experience. Also, it leaves a sour taste in the mouth of those who pay full price and hear about the discounts maybe at the retreat or otherwise. It's just not how you do good business, in my opinion, when it comes to an experience, right? It's just not something that feels aligned, and it feels like you're devaluing who you are, the retreat experience, everything. I am, however, a big proponent of incentives or bonuses. You can do early bird bonuses or last minute bonus, right? No fire sales, no sales, guys. We don't do sales on our programs, okay? That is just not something, I'm super adamant about it. It just brings up ugliness around your experience, okay? So moving on, before you go down though, this discount spiral or this thinking spiral, I want to offer you a more powerful and I believe aligned approach when dealing with objections. Let's do it without taking it personally even, which is a big one, right? Because a retreat that you create feels so personal. So it's hard not to take anything that's quote unquote negative. It's hard not to take it personal. I know, I get it. But here's the thing. Here's the actual truth. Objections don't mean someone isn't interested. They actually often mean the opposite. Someone is interested. They're just uncertain. And that's where you come in. And that's where this 3-prong approach comes in. Okay? Because objections aren't personal. Hear this again. Objections aren't personal. They're actually protection. When someone says something like, it's too expensive, they're not actually attacking your pricing. Now, I'll pause here for a minute and say there are some trolls out there who just attack everything, and you can feel the difference in there. When I feel a troll and I can tell it's a troll, and I'll even ask for confirmation from someone else if I'm not sure, because it is personal for me, right? I just delete. I just don't play the game. So I'm not talking about that. But I'm talking about those who genuinely are like, I just feel like that's too expensive for me. They're not attacking your pricing. They're protecting their fear. Fear of investing in themselves. Fear of not following through. And a big one is fear of not being worth it. And our job is not to fight the fear. It's not to fight the fear. It's not to argue the fear. It's to help them feel safe enough to move through it, right? If we spent time when someone says it's too expensive justifying and battling and telling them you don't understand how everything costs and the rise in food and all the things that happen, it's a losing battle, and why bother? Because they're expressing fear. And we're not there to fight it. We're there to help them. So here's my 3-prong approach to dealing with objections. To me, that's respectful, powerful, and also rooted in service. Because here's the thing, I'm not afraid to be a salesperson. I am not afraid of sales. I'm not afraid of the word sales, all of that. But when we're in this industry specifically, our sales is also rooted in service. And so that's why I feel like this 3-prong approach is so powerful. The first prong, a soft place to land. This is where you don't meet resistance with more resistance, like I just mentioned, where you argue them to death, right? Instead, you give them a concern. You give their concern a cushion to land on, right? So the example is the objection of, it's too expensive. A soft landing would sound like this. Yes, being fiscally smart is so important. Do you see how that happened there? Do you see what happened? No defensiveness, no justifying, just acknowledging that money matters. And it does, right? This tells them you're safe here. You're not being judged. That's important. That is important when you're trying to develop a relationship, when you're trying to create a booking with someone who's going to spend a lot of time with you, right? You don't want to be defensive. You don't want to create a hostile exchange. That will get you nowhere. A soft place to land.
Hey, it's Shannon here. I'm just popping in really quickly to ask a big favor. Would you pause the show and go review it for us? Please. Reviews really help us to be able to get more guests and more experts on the show to help you transform your retreats. So if you wouldn't mind pausing and leaving us a review, that would mean everything. And if you're not already subscribed, do that too.
Okay. The second prong is a point of agreement. Now that you are not on the defensive and they're not on the defensive, meet them with something that's true for you too. This doesn't mean that you agree it's too expensive. It means you share their value. An example, being fiscally smart is important to me too. I make a point to invest in things that truly align with my growth, and I don't take those decisions lightly either. You've just shown that you're on the same team, not the opposite sides of a sale. This is really important. Let me say it again. You've just shown them that you're on the same team, okay? You're both people who care about where your money goes, right? A point of agreement. Not agreeing with their exact statement, but finding a point of agreement. The third prong to this approach is to get curious. Now that this conversation you're having with this person feels really safe, connected, it's time to explore what's really going on, because the objection is usually not about the initial words said. So for example, the objection here is really not about money alone. It's about those fears we talked about earlier, right? There's some underlying root fear. So then you would get curious and you would ask something like, before we dig into cost, what about the experience makes you feel like it's too expensive, right? Or is it the total cost or the timing that feels off? Or I'm curious, what would make this feel like a hell yes for you? I like all of these approaches, and you find one that works for you. But curiosity opens the door for honest communication. You will uncover what their real fear is. It might be that they're scared to invest in themselves. It might be that they've never done anything like this before. It might be that they've made poor choices in the past. They've chosen something in the past that didn't work out at all like they thought, and they're afraid to do it again, right? But you can meet them there, not on that surface level. That surface level is, it's too expensive. Instead, let's meet them at the fear. Let's help walk them through the fear. That's how you deal with objections, with compassion and connection. Meet them where the fear is with this 3-prong approach. Because objections, honestly, they're opportunities. I am so serious. Objections are opportunities if you choose to view them that way. Because here's the thing. They're not stop signs. They're technically starting points. They're starting points. And when you approach them with compassion, curiosity, clarity, you show up not just as a salesperson, which is important because we're salespeople, we are, but as a guide, as a partner even. And that is what builds connection, trust, and bookings. That's the true magic, dealing with objections in this 3-prong approach, not dodging them, not fearing them, not ignoring them, but guiding through them with heart, right? And by the way, this 3-prong approach I got from the sales girls, whom I totally adore. I love following them on social media. You can look them up online. I took a piece of their 3-prong approach and applied it to my business, and I just love it. I just love this, and it works every time. Uncovering what the real root fear is under their objection, and then being able to together, am I saying that right? Being able to together work through that objection as a team. Here's just some final thoughts from someone who's been there, okay? We're not here to force anything. We're not here to force anything. I would never want to force you into one of my retreat leadership membership programs or my mastermind or one of my retreats. I don't want to force or talk somebody into it or defeat them or overcome an objection necessarily. I want people to show up feeling good about their investment. Maybe a little nervous still, of course, that happens, but not feeling like they were beat into it or forced into it, right? I don't want that. However, you are here to hold space for the discomfort that often comes before someone chooses transformation. I want to say that again. You're not here to force anyone into anything, but you are here to hold space for the discomfort that often comes before someone chooses transformation. And your retreat is a powerful container. And your pricing, well, it should reflect the value, time, energy, soul, experience, everything about you, everything about it that you've poured into it. Stand tall in that. Feel proud of that. Feel confident in that. And when objections come up, because they will, give them a soft landing, meet them in their values, and get curious. Because that is where the true magic happens. Thanks, and until next time.
Thanks for listening to the Retreat Leaders Podcast. Learn more at www.theretreatranch.com. See you next time.